was that it was my very first conference ever to attend. When I arrived, I had no idea what to do, where to go, how to introduce myself. I was too embarrassed to ask for help, afraid that people might judge me. But looking back, I now realize that those moments of uncertainty sparked the journey of growth and learning that has brought me here today. It is with great honor and humility that I stand before you, accepting this Maria Zavala award. This recognition is not just mine. It belongs to every Latina who fights tirelessly for her family, her dreams, and her community. First and foremost, I want to thank God for always guiding me, especially when the path ahead was uncertain. I also want to express my deep gratitude to my mentors, my close friends, and family for their unwavering support. To my parents, who taught me the meaning of sacrifice and resilience. To my children, Lizzie, Valerie, and Andrew. You are my greatest motivation. And to my husband, Jim, who almost 30 years ago, he offered me a life and has supported me through every challenge. This award is for all of you. Years ago, exactly about 28 years ago, I'm from Monterrey, Mexico. And about 28 years ago, I packed up my life into a suitcase. About 28 years ago, I packed up my life into a suitcase and came into this country con muchas esperanzas, con una vida con miles de oportunidades y promesas. I came here in search of better opportunities, not just for us, but for my whole family. Shortly after, my parents and sisters joined me, and I felt an immense responsibility to help them transition into a new life with as few obstacles as possible. Not just for my family, Then, when I began learning how to navigate the systems that didn't really were in my country, so they didn't exist in my country, so there were systems such as Medicare, things like that. Access resources and overcome barriers, not just for my family. So I began to learn all those resources because I wanted to do it for my family, but also for others who like us, like the knowledge, language, or guidance they needed. That is how my circle of support grew, from family to friends, from friends to a community that feels like family. Even when my English wasn't the best, because it wasn't, I can tell you, when I first moved here, I just did not know how to put things together. And no words. My message was always clear though. I'm here to help. I'm here for everybody. It was also 20 years ago that I began working at Michigan State University. This job rekindled my hopes of continuing my education. Despite the challenges of working a full-time job, of raising a family, in 2007, I decided to dedicate some time for myself and pursue my studies. This was one of the greatest satisfactions of my life. You see, I never went to school to learn English. So, it was hard for me to believe that I could actually earn a degree, right? But in in 2013, I'm happy to tell you that I earned my Bachelor of Science in Community Development with a focus on public administration. Then, October in 2021, I completed my master's degree in public administration from the University of Michigan. These accomplishments were not just milestones for me. They were victories for my family and the community that supported me every single step of the way. If there is one thing that I want to leave with you today, is this: no matter how hard life gets, keep moving forward. No matter how many times you fall, get back up and keep going. Listen to yourself. Take advantage of every opportunity and support that comes your way. And never let anyone tell you what you should do, because no one knows your path better than you. So trust yourself. Whenever I felt like giving up, I reminded myself of my purpose, which are my family, mi gente. And I hope that in some way, my journey reminds you that resilience, determination, and love can take you farther than you ever imagined. I have come a long way since that conference, my first conference. And I'm no longer afraid to ask for help, I can tell you that. Or guidance. I will never forget how it felt to be uncertain though. So to anyone here today who might be feeling as I once did, don't be afraid to ask. And don't be afraid to take that first step. You're never alone in this journey. There's so many people right behind you and beside you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Bueno, ya que tomamos unos momentos para secarnos las lágrimas, because I know everyone was crying, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for today's event. Mariana Atencio is a Peabody Award journalist, best-selling author, and former NBC and Univision anchor. Her best-selling book, Perfectly You, was selected by Audible and Apple Books, and her TEDx talk on authenticity titled What Makes You Special has gone viral with over 25 million views and translated into 13 languages. Originally from Venezuela, Mariana has dedicated her career to shedding light on the stories of the Latino community, covering key events like the family separation crisis, Hurricane Maria, and the migrant caravans. Mariana is the co-founder and CEO of Go Light Media, an award-winning female-led content media house and spokesperson for the American Latino Museum in DC. But instead of me telling you more about her, let's look at this video.
Right now.
This is Mariana Atencio.
And this is Mariana Atencio.
I'm Mariana Atencio, Venezuelan, Peabody Award-winning journalist. I cover the world 3 minutes at a time. Because after the earthquake in Haiti, 85,000 people still live in tents like these. I've been to the front lines of the most volatile conflicts of our time to discover the strength of the human spirit. Along the way, I had to leave my home as my country was torn apart.
In 2008, when political unrest turned her home country upside down, she was forced to leave and come to New York, where she studied journalism at Columbia University. 10 years later, Mariana is a journalist, giving a TED Talk.
Being able to reimagine yourself beyond what other people see. That is the toughest task of all, but it's also the most beautiful.
And now she's an author.
What was it about this story particularly that drew you in? When I got the call and I was told about these two women, tourists, they go to Panama on this hike 8 years ago and were never seen alive again. So I went on the ground and this actually launched a real-time race against time to find new evidence and to push the government to reopen the case.
The thing that you uncovered, and did you know this going into it, that there were dozens of other women who had disappeared, of which for whom there was no cover?
I honestly had no idea. Over 50 cases of local missing women and girls in this 40-mile corridor of Panama.
Motivational speaker, journalist, and author, Mariana Castillo.
And with that, please help me welcome Mariana Atencio.
How we doing, everybody? Can you guys hear me? Wait for it. Hello, we can go off this side if not. You can hear me off the wall now. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Thank you. Can we give her a big round of applause? Thank you. Let me just make sure that I have my clicker and my presentation. Un momentico, a ver, ¿verdad? Hold on. Let's see. So I don't have my presentation. Thank you so much. The people working hard to make the conference happen. The people who prepare our food and the folks serving us today, we know that that's also the backbone of this community and this conference. So we want to thank them for their efforts. I also want to take the time, since I'm up here, to thank Juan for the opportunity of having me keynote, as well as Heidi, as well as Sofia, Mark Moreno from the community, Patricia, who is here. I keynoted their event last year, and then they recommended me, and it's word of mouth, and it's this ripple effect that happens when we support one another as Latinos, and we need so much more of that. So while we're fixing this, I do want to tell every single one of you that if you have an opportunity to support another Latina after you leave today, do it. Because that's how we become unstoppable, and that's the reason why I'm here. So I believe that we have this set up. Yes, we do. All right. Okay. Okay. 30 years. When they told me that I would be keynoting here, and especially coming after these powerhouses, I had one of those aha moments, you know, that hit you of like, ¿cómo terminé yo aquí? How was I meant to end up here? You know those moments that change you in ways you can't fully anticipate? So to start, and for you to get to know my story a little bit more personally, I want to take you back to one of those pivotal moments in my life. When I was a 23-year-old college student in my home country of Venezuela. Do I have any Venezuelans in the house? Wow. Hello, Venezuela. Bueno, let's go. Okay. So I'm 23 years old in my home country. I'm studying college, not unlike many of the students that we have here as part of our attendees. And there's this beautiful mountain that surrounds the city of Caracas, the capital. And it's this refuge of greenery. It's sort of this bubble of clean air in the midst of a concrete jungle. It's a hike that I've climbed at least over 100 times in my home country. And today the weather is gorgeous. This is my happy place, as I'm sure that all of you have yours. So I want you to, put your silverware down and take a deep breath and come with me on this hike. Let's put our silverware down for a moment. And I want you to come with me as I'm reconnecting with nature, and I'm going up this hike, and I'm hearing the birds chirping along the trail, and I make it all the way to the overlook called Salas Nieves, and it offers one of the best views of the valley stretched out below. This is a moment of peace in a very chaotic time in my home country. So I take it all in. But it's a moment of peace that would not last. as I'm making my way down the steep mountain trail, this man jumps at me from behind the bushes. Me salta un hombre de la nada, de los arbustos. He pulls out a gun from his shorts and yells, "Give me everything you got, dame todo lo que tienes." And I hand him, I have some earrings, one of those little iPods from back in the day, some cash. And I realized the world alone in that stretch of the woods. He could rape me, he could kill me, and nobody would know. He tells me to get on my knees and presses the muzzle of the firearm onto my forehead and yells, "Cuenta hasta 100. Count to 100. Y se lo juro que yo pensé, ya aquí se terminó mi vida. Y le hablé a Dios y le dije, pero Dios, yo no me quiero morir. So I start counting slowly. 1, 2, 3. When my counting reaches 50, I feel his gun cold and heavy, moving down my cheeks and grazing my lips, and my mouth is trembling so much, I don't even know if I'm voicing these numbers correctly. 51, 52, 53. And then all of a sudden, my eyes were shut, but it's almost like as if I hear his footsteps receding. Por fin me atrevo a abrir los ojos, and he's gone. I no lo puedo creer, so I get up, and I start running as fast as I can down the mountain trail, almost tripping over tree roots, further on down in the city, up to my family's apartment. And when they see me, they're like, "Mariana, ¿está bien? ¿Qué pasó?" I'm shaking, and my knees are filled with dirt. My family clusters around me. And that's when I burst into tears. The mugging Dia de la Mujer conference attendees was the straw that broke the camel's back. As painful as it was, I realized that I was going to have to leave my home and leave everything that I knew behind. And I know that for many audiences like Keynote, this would be a very unique story, but I know that in this room, it's something that may have happened to your family members, it may have happened to you, this idea of having to leave everything behind in search of a better life. Because this country that I grew up in had grown lawless and violent, with crime and food shortages spiking daily. And in that moment in my life, I also knew where I wanted to go. I set my sights in los Estados Unidos, this magical place, America, which stood as a beacon of freedom and opportunity for so many people who came before me, for so many Latinos like us. And that, mi gente, was the beginning of a 17-year journey that brought me to this conference today. Gracias. And believe it or not, one of the most special moments along the 17-year journey happened on Valentine's Day of all days. February 14th, 2020. Anybody want to guess what happened? COVID. Guess what? No. Valentine's Day. Anybody, any guesses? No, I don't have a husband, and I didn't get a ring. It wasn't about flowers or chocolate. Believe it or not, February 14th, 2020, right before the shutdown, at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Center in Miami, Florida, was the moment that I finally felt was the culmination of a journey where I finally felt home. And I want to share just a little bit of that moment with all of you here today. Well, we all know how the swearing in goes and how the rest of the song goes, but this is not easy to do. And all of you know it all too well from your own experiences and from our ancestors and our families' experiences. So I call this my love affair with America because no